What is up everybody, welcome back to Double Z Fitness channel where I share my calisthenics journey with all of you guys. I'm very excited about today's video because it's gonna be jam-packed with useful information on how to start calisthenics as a beginner. So this video will be useful for those of you who are new to calisthenics. To be honest, I'm also a beginner in calisthenics. I've only been training consistently for about 5 months. I enjoy what I learn. I also enjoy sharing what I learned with all of you guys. So I wish you can join me and let's work out and progress together. And stay awesome. So today's video is going to be separated into a few sections, which includes 4 basic movements of calisthenics, the progression for each movement, the importance of core strength training, flexibility and mobility, and lastly, I will also include a few free samples of workout schedule that you can incorporate into your daily life as a calisthenics beginner. Alright, let's start off with one of the most important part of starting as a beginner, which is to master the calisthenics basic movements. This can be separated into 4 different kinds of movements. First one will be pushing movements, which include the push-ups and dips. Moving on, we have pulling movements, the body weight pull-up and also body roll. Next one, we have squat movements, which includes body weight squats, pistol squats, and finally we have core or hinge movements, which focus on training your core strength. The example is plank, hollow body, and also different variation of leg raises. So why exactly it is so important for you to master the calisthenics basic movements? There are a few reasons. The first one will be same concept as when you're first born as a baby. When we're first born as a baby, we do not know how to run or walk. We first start off with crawling, then slowly we progress to walking and running. And it's the same when it comes to calisthenics movements. For example, the pushing movements, we first start off with push-ups, and then slowly we progress with one-arm push-ups. And in the future, once you are advanced enough, we can proceed to handstand push-ups. Same applies to pulling movements. We first started off with body roll, and then we move on to assisted pull-ups. And finally, when you're advanced enough or you build enough strength in your bicep and back, and then you can proceed with the normal bodyweight pull-ups. And the second reason will be to avoid injuries. It's very crucial for you to master the basic movements, especially as a beginner, to perform all these exercises in the correct technique and the proper form. When you are familiar with the correct technique and the proper form in certain exercise, there is a lower risk for you to get injured. And finally, the third reason is building a basic strength is the fundamental for you to perform more complex calisthenics skills in the future, such as the handstand, planche, front and back lever, L-sit, human flag, and many other complex calisthenics skills. Alright, the simple guideline for you to test whether or not you're a beginner are as follow: 10 clean reps of bodyweight pull-up, 20 reps of push-ups, 15 reps of dips, and finally 15 to 20 reps of hanging knee raise. Now notice that I did not include any leg exercises. It's because whether or not you want to train your leg is up to your personal preference. There are people out there who do not train their leg because their main focus is to master the calisthenics skills such as the planche, handstand, front lever and back lever, so that they do not train their legs. Their main focus is to build their upper body strength. But personally, I do train legs because I think it's very important. And if you would like to test yourself in this aspect, 10 reps of pistol squat or 20 reps of bodyweight squat is a good way to start. Moving on, let's talk about progression for each exercises. I'll list down a few examples for each exercises, and they will be arranged from easy to harder progression. First of all, let's start out with the pushing movements. These movements target mainly on your chest, tricep and shoulder muscles. First one will be wall push-ups, incline push-ups, knee push-ups, normal push-ups, decline push-ups, and finally the archer push-ups. The next one will be pulling movements, which target mainly on your back and bicep muscles. The first exercise will be a knee body roll, incline body roll, negative pull-ups, assisted pull-ups, and finally the body weight pull-ups. Moving on, we have the core or hinge movements, which mainly target on your core strength, The first one will be plank, hollow body, lying leg raise, hanging knee raise, and finally the hanging leg raise. And lastly will be the squat movements, which target on your leg muscles. Let's start off with bodyweight squats, lunges, seated pistol squats, assisted pistol squats, and finally the bodyweight pistol squats. Alright guys, after understanding the importance of mastering basic calisthenics movements and also different types of progression, it is also important for you to understand core workout is very crucial when it comes to calisthenics training. Why? Because most of the calisthenics movements require the activation of your core muscles. Even the exercise as simple as the push-ups also require you to activate certain amount of core strength to hold yourself in a plank position to perform the push-ups. And if your goal is to learn the advanced calisthenics skills such as handstand, planche, front lever and back lever, so on and so forth, training your core is really crucial. And if you notice, all these advanced calisthenics skills require your core activation to lift your feet off the ground to perform these movements. Okay, let's move on to talk about flexibility and mobility. First of all, what is flexibility? Flexibility is the amount of stretch in the muscle and the ability of a muscle's tissue to lengthen passively through a range of motions. And mobility is defined as the ability of a joint to move actively through a range of motion. For example, let's say you have enough flexibility in your lats muscle here to raise your hand towards the air, but it doesn't mean that you have enough mobility in your shoulder joint to fully extend your shoulder all the way over your head. This also means that your immobile shoulder joint hinder yourself to get a full range of motions despite the fact that you have a flexible lats. So why is this important for calisthenics? For example, let's say you are doing a handstand, you have to extend your shoulder or put your hand towards the air, right? Let's say you do not have enough mobility in your shoulder joint. Let's say you can only reach here. When you're performing a handstand, it will become a banana handstand instead of a straight handstand. Because if you can fully extend your shoulder all the way up here, it will become a straight handstand. Which is also why it is important for us to stretch our wrist before we perform a handstand, right? The flexibility in your forearm muscles and also your mobility in your shoulder joint will allow you to extend your palm fully into a 90 degree so that when you perform a handstand, it will be easier for you. And this is the reason why flexibility and mobility is so important in calisthenics or even in any kind of sports. Alright, let's move on and talk about workout schedule. For a working out schedule, I recommend at least 3 days of resistance training in a week. You can separate them into a push-pull leg routine or full body weight workout 3 times in a week. And it is recommended for you to have at least a day off in between your workouts because our body needs at least 48 hours of rest for muscle and central nervous system to fully recover completely, so that you get ready for the next workout with a fresh body, which means no soreness in your muscle or fatigue. And during your rest day in between your workouts, you can also transform your rest day into an active rest day, which means you can perform some light activities such as cardio, mobility and flexibility drill, core training, yoga and many more. I've also created a few examples of workout routines into a PDF file. Feel free to download it and use it in your workout routines. And because this is a beginner routine, some of you might find it not intense enough. In that case, you can always increase the sets. For example, let's say you're doing 3 sets of 10, you can increase into 4 sets of 10. And you can also increase the rep range. However, for hypertrophy training, it is recommended for you to do around 6 to 12 reps of rep range for each set of workouts. And instead of performing all the exercises I've listed in the PDF file, you can always substitute these exercises with a harder progression of exercise. For more information, do check out my previous video on 80 types of bodyweight home workout that you can perform at home. Click this link to find out more. Alright guys, that concludes all of the information I would like to share with you in this video. If you find this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Double Z Fitness channel, turn notification on to get the latest update of my videos. Double your effort, double your results, and remember, you're always awesome.